believe this. I cannot believe Howie Roseman actually was able to get Jihaad Campbell. I mean, whoa, like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is ridiculous when you think about the Philadelphia Eagles able to get a hybrid outside linebacker that can rush the passer, drop back in coverage, cover running backs. I mean, bro, I don't even know where to, like, where to even be. Like, you see, this is quote. He says we gotta win another freaking Super Bowl next year, man. It's on. Like, bro is already coming in with that type of a mentality because he's a dog. Yo, I mean, if you look at Howie Roseman, right, he's been every one of his draft picks have been successful, right? Every one of his draft picks have been successful. So there's no question that this guy is going to be elite. Bro, I really look. The draft was so fucking boring because the Eagles picked 32nd. Right, the draft was so fucking boring, bro. And I'm just waiting to see what the Philadelphia Eagles are going to do. And when you see the move that they made, when you see the move that they made, it's like, what the hell is this for real? Yo, what's up, little G Griffith? What's the word, bro? So when you see them pull off this type of a move, like, I mean, bro, this is a guy, right? We're gonna definitely look. We're gonna definitely take a look at, uh we'll look at, like, his resume, right? You see here, in high school he was a 5-star recruit, top 15 overall prospect nationally. He transferred from Timber Creek High School. Okay, in 2002 he played 9 games as a reserve on special teams, right? In college in 2023, he played 13 games. In those 13 games, he had 8 starts. He only had 6 tackles, but he had 4 tackles for a loss. No, he had 66 tackles in 8 starts. 13 games, 8 starts, 66 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss, an interception. Here's the thing, 3 pass breakups. This is a linebacker that's going to be able to cover. He's going to be able to cover running backs, tight ends, rush the passer, drop back in zone coverage. Bro, I cannot believe this was the perfect fit for the Philadelphia Eagles. This is the perfect fit for them, bro. Perfect fit. And then you look in 2024, first team all SEC. He led his team with 117 tackles, 11 and a half tackles for a loss, 5 sacks. This was in Alabama, bro. This is in one of the best divisions in college football. Look, and listen, here's the thing. He started all 13 games. He had an interception and 2 pass breakups. What does that let me know? That this guy is in coverage. Two pass breakups and an interception. That type of production equates to him being able to drop back in coverage, bro. This is wild. Okay. This dude is gonna be a star, bro. He's a superstar. This dude's a superstar, bro. His rookie year, he's going to be absolutely fantastic, bro. His rookie, he might, I don't, he, I'm pretty sure he's gonna start his rookie year, bro. He may be rookie of the year, bro. He may be rookie of the year. He may this you're looking at the defensive rookie of the year, man. I'll be honest. Okay, I'll be honest. Now look, and okay, you look at the Philadelphia Eagles draft picks, right? We already got. I mean, okay, you look at all of these picks at this rate. Like the draft is going on right now. At this rate, bro, they're about to. They're still in the entire draft right now. Howie Roseman just again. This is what he does. He just he. I call it a hijacking, bro. I call it a hijacking. He hijacked this draft. He hijacked this draft already. I mean, for Jihaad to fall to us all the way at pick number 2, we got the 31, right? We moved up to, so pretty much the end of the draft. You get a superstar at the end of the first round. Imagine what he's finna do this second round and third round. Bro, this shit is scary, dog. Howie, you know what Howie Roseman can do right now? Howie could go and just be crazy, bro, and get another electric piece on offense, whether that's a receiver, a tight end. Like, bro, Howie can fucking do whatever the hell he wants. I'm thinking he'd probably stay along the defensive lines and continue to build up the defense, right? But dog, this move with Jahan, bro, is absolutely unequivocally ridiculous. Now here's some of his charts, right? I mean, how his combine and his numbers. You look at the right side of this screen, the green, right, indicates that the his speed grade. He has an elite speed grade, okay? The only knock on him is, is fitting in some of these run gaps and taking on blockers and things like that. That with all rookie edge rushers and linebackers, bro, this is something they all have to right figure out. And it's not a huge learning curve, okay? It's not a huge learning curve. So once he figures that out, this dude is going to be a superstar midway through the season, bro. He has all of the traits that you look for with an edge rusher, bro. Now, but dog, I mean, like, bro, this is fucking ridiculous. We got this guy. This is fucking crazy, bro. Like, this is ridiculous. When you look at how look at his combine, right? When you look at his combine, just look at it, look at it. This is his 40. Okay. Look at this 40. Oh yeah, he's moving. That's a 4.5. That looked like a four. That looked like a goddamn 4.3. Okay. Okay, this is our out. This is bro. This is our new. Look again. He hasn't gotten many snaps as a pass rusher, right? But I'm telling you, bro. He's going to. Hey, he can pass rush. He can pass rush. Trust me. I know he can pass rush. You look at how he's moving. First off, you look at the explosiveness, right? Okay, the boy can move. Okay, he's athletic, right? He checks that box. I want you guys to look at this man moving, not solid. I mean, just look at how he's getting out of these breaks, bro. Look at how he's getting out of some of these breaks with explosiveness, right? Um. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, he's moving. He's moving. All right. Again, but here, this is look, bro. This is where this dude is going to completely turn the entire NFL upside down, bro. All right. Look at how he's getting out of these breaks, bro. dropping back in coverage into zones. Bro, look, this ability right here is what's gonna get him on the field. Now with Nolan Smith, that's an element that we would like to see from Nolan Smith, right? So, bro, already this guy is on the same level as Nolan Smith already. He's already just as good as Nolan Smith, bro. Okay, dog, man, look, just chat. Look at how this man is. Look at how how he drops back and cover. Look how he's getting out of those breaks. What? Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. He's gonna be he's gonna be special. I mean, look at him. Look at him move. Look at this man moving. Nah, hey. Okay, okay, okay. Hey, chat. This guy is going to be a problem. Okay, he's going to be a problem. If you follow the yellow line and you see, like, it shows how how he's moving to get to these areas and how the explosiveness coming out of these breaks, right? You see why he had multiple pass breakups in college, multiple ints, right? So now you got a guy that it's like, okay, let's put it to you like this: it's like having two Zach Bonds. It's like having two Zach Bonds on your football team. Um, like, dog, this is wild. Crazy. This is crazy, bro. Um, Howie Roseman, Howie Roseman says, "I'm really excited to have him. Wasn't something we anticipated. They didn't anticipate. They didn't even anticipate him falling to them at 31. Well, not 31, 32, right? They didn't anticipate this guy falling all the way to and I mean that's when you get so close, it's like, all right, man, let's just trade up and get him. This is unbelievable that this has happened, right? He said this was a real easy pick. Hey, he said this is a real easy pick. Howie said this was a really easy pick. Absolutely, it was. At 31, to get him at the very end of the draft. What the actual fuck? What the I mean, so Howie is saying he didn't anticipate it. It was a really easy pick. He can play inside. He can be an edge rusher. This was a top 10 player on our board. Okay, so so listen, okay, so look, bro. Here's the thing, right? This is what it boils down to. Jihaad Campbell was a top 10 player in the draft on everybody's board. Like, so everybody valued him as a top 10 pick. How the fuck did he slide so far to us? Bro, this ain't, I don't, bro, I'm not gonna question it, but shit is getting crazy, bro. We're getting all of the good players for relatively cheap. Like, whoa, they're either falling to us, and all of these players just somehow they falling right in our lap. Now, here's the thing: you got to know who to pull the trigger on. So I can't say they just fell to us. You got to actually know, do your due diligence in picking the right players. Okay, so it's not as easy as it looks, right? But sometimes it's just sometimes the draft really just boils down to picking the best player. Okay, And some teams don't have that luxury because they have needs, right? But it's a sometimes, man, that can be tricky. You never want to be in that position to where you have to draft based off of a need. If you have to draft based off a need, I mean, you ain't put yourself in the best position to succeed, right? So I feel like you should always, but some teams don't have that luxury, and I understand it, and that's when you start reaching, right? Well, Howie Roseman, bro, but again, man, it's like when top 10 picks are just falling right to you at the end of the draft, and like that, but that's what happens, right? That's what happens in the draft, okay? uh that sometimes the draft falls like that, but you just gotta make sure you go get you a good pick. You gotta make sure you get the right player for your team. That's the thing about it, okay? um but that's the bro, that's what makes it so crazy. This was a top 10. Dude's a top 10 pick, bro. That is the thing that's making this shit so crazy. Okay. It also goes. The Eagles were trying to trade up for Jihaad Campbell as early as 22 with the Chargers on the clock. So there was reports that the Eagles were trying to move up. They were trying to move up from 32 to 22 because at that point you like somebody's going to go get this guy. Now, now, listen to me. Regardless of what Howie Roseman says, right? And regardless of people, now Howie did go on to say there's speculation. Howie said that they wanted him, right? Okay. But I don't think they were trying to trade up to get. I think that listen, hear me out. I think when they was trying to trade up at 22, when they initially wanted to trade up in the middle of the draft, I think it was for Malachi Starks. Okay, but I think Baltimore, something happened with Baltimore. If I'm not mistaken, I think Baltimore traded up and went and got him. Right? Remember, we snaked Baltimore out of Jordan Davis, right? But they wound up getting Kyle Hamilton, right? So the team, Baltimore and the Eagles, they kind of have this little thing, bro, to where they, a lot of times they covet the same players. And um, I remember the Ravens wanting to pick Jordan Davis, and the Eagles traded up over the Ravens to get him. Okay. Now, a lot of times when teams trade up, it's because another team is going to go get your guy. So people say, why did the Eagles trade up one spot from the Chiefs? Because the Eagles knew it was a team that was going to grab him if they didn't trade up for him. Okay, now that team could have been trying to trade with the Chiefs, or that team could also have been trying to trade with the Chiefs, bro. You never know. But when teams trade up, they know somebody is going to get this guy, or they know that they're trying to get in front of somebody else to get a guy. Anytime you see a trade up, that's why. They don't just trade just to trade. They trade knowing if you don't, somebody else is going to get them, right? Relatively soon. So you got to capitalize on those opportunities. But again, I don't know if the Eagles were actually really coveting him the whole time, because Howie said that this was not expected. Okay, I believe the trade up was for probably Malachi Starks, and then the Ravens snuck up and got the Eagles payback, right? So now the Eagles like, fuck, Jihaad Campbell's here. Right now, I'm not sure if that's the case, but based off what Howie has said, right? They didn't expect to even have him. They didn't expect to get him in the first place. Okay, so why would you trade up? Why would you trade up to 20? Try to trade up 22 to get him if you never expected to get him? Think, bro. I think the move was Malachi Starks this whole time, but the Ravens just got the Eagles payback. So the Eagles like, fuck, we couldn't get our guy. Damn, there's this top 10 talent still on the board. And I guess as he just continued to fall, I mean, I think at some point the Eagles wanted to trade up. I think the mark was in the mid 20s. That's or somewhere in the early 20s where they was gonna trade up, right? But shit, they didn't even have to. I, but that's just how I feel. Okay, uh, but okay, we know they were trying to trade up, but I don't know. Was it for him? Was it for him? I don't know. I don't know. Um, you look at it by the numbers. You look at him compared to a guy like Fred Warner. We know Fred Warner is the best linebacker in the NFL, right? Uh, you know, his measurables is almost identical to Fred Warner's, right? So I feel like he's in that type of a uh uh mold, that type of prototype. I definitely think he's like he's going to have a Fred Warner type of impact or type of career. Um, you said that draft boring. I'm not even watching the draft. They should have drafted me yesterday. What you think about the next pick? Who was on your radar, bro? Honestly, I don't even know, bro. I don't know. I don't know who the Eagles, what they're gonna do. Uh, I don't think anybody does. Nobody can tell you what the Eagles are gonna do. Who's on my radar? I don't have a player specifically, but I would probably like to see a defensive tackle, or I would like to see probably a defensive tackle, or maybe a mm, I really don't know, man, because right now with the Philadelphia Eagles, I think everything is luxury at this point with them. So I can't really say what I would want to see from the Philadelphia Eagles as far as a player I would want them to pick, but I just feel like they have such a luxury to kind of go wherever they really want to. Um I don't see them getting a guard. I don't see them doing anything offensively. Uh, but maybe shoot, I would say the positions I would like to see. I would like to see a corner, the defensive back. Let's just say that. I would like to see a defensive back, a tight end, and a defensive tackle. Okay, if we can get one of each of those guys in the next 3 rounds, I'll be perfectly fine with this draft right now. In the second round, if the Eagles, the second or third, if the Eagles hit on one more pick, this is a W draft. This draft is definitely a success. Right now, this draft has already been a complete steal. Okay, but if they can find another gem, another diamond in the rough, or if they can just get another player for great value, if they can get another first round talent if they can get 2 first round talents in these next 2 picks, I think they win this draft, right? I think this draft has been a complete success. So I would say D tackle, defensive back, and a tight end. If they do that, this draft is going to be completely nuts, bro. No, I haven't heard of him, dog. I haven't heard of that man. I haven't heard of that player. No. Are the Eagles doing? Have the Eagles done anything yet? No. Just scrolling down Twitter real quick. No, nothing's really going on. A Patriots draft or somebody. Yeah. Dolphins with a trade. Okay, nothing's really happening with the Eagles right now. Okay, so they haven't made a pick yet, but um, I'm looking at Jihaad Campbell knocking the snot out of the Giants' new rookie quarterback. Same with what Jalen Carter did to um, Jaden Daniels, right? So I mean, it's good to see we getting guys who actually have had huge success against the quarterbacks that's in our division, right? Isn't that amazing? Right? The guy who the guy who Jackson Dart, whatever his name is, the Giants' new quarterback, Jihaad Campbell met him in the playoffs and knocked his head off. Jalen Carter at Georgia, what he did to Jane Daniels at LSU, picked him up off his feet, right? Jane Daniels is with the Washington now. You know, these guys are in our division. We have the defensive players who's already stopped the quarterbacks that's in our division right now, right? So we already got the kryptonite to our entire division, right? We run our division right now. We're grabbing the players that can stop the players in our division, right? The players in our division that the NFC East think that they're trying to catch up with us. No, we already have the defense to stop all of the players that you're drafting. We already got the offense to stop all of the defensive players you draft. But we're already set, you know, and we're bringing in players that have had tons of success against your players. Bro, Howie is a dog, pure dog. But I mean, this is some of Campbell, some of his highlights, man. You know, I just want to see how he plays and just look at um the type of see how he moves, got range. Okay, I'm looking at a guy with tons of he can move sideline to sideline as a linebacker. Well, I didn't really much see much there. Look, that's an INT. Huge tackle for a loss. All right, ban your bitch ass. Eat a dick. Get out, nigga. Shut up. Look, strip sack. Strip sack. I mean, I like this move. I like this move. Again, you look at his rookie year. I mean, you look at his last year in college, 117 tackles. 117 tackles. 12 tackles for a loss. 5 sacks. a forced fumble, an interception. I'm pretty sure he had some pass breakups. Now, am I saying that he is going to be lights out his first year with the Philadelphia Eagles? Yes, I think Jihaad Campbell is going to be like you're gonna give him playing time, right? He's going to get reps, and if he plays well enough, he may end up starting because we have Nolan Smith and then who else? Maybe Jalen Hunt. Like an outside, but again, he's an outside linebacker. But he can still you can I don't you're gonna have to give him some snaps pass rushing, right? So in pass rush situations, he's going to be an edge rusher, right? I don't think nobody else on this defense can do what this guy can do. Besides maybe Zach Bond. Zach Bond can cover. He can cover running backs. He can blitz. He can drop back in zone. Zach Bond can do all of that shit. Jihaad Campbell can as well. Like, this shit is crazy, bro. So, here's the elephant in the room, right? Here's the elephant in the room. Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean, right? You add Zach Bond, you add Jihaad Campbell with Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean. What happens now? Like, Nakobe, okay, there's eventually, right? This guy is going to, if he's as advertised, right? How are we going to keep Nakobe Dean, who's on a contract year? Now, this is like down the road, right? Well, not really, because now this is Nakobe Dean. This is Nakobe Dean's contract year. We know Zach Bond just got paid. They went and drafted another linebacker and in the first round. Nigga, he not coming in here to not start. You didn't draft him the first round pick for him not to play, bro. That's just not happening. He's too good. So we know he's going to demand a spot on this defense. Okay. We know Zach Bond just got paid all that goddamn money. We know he's good. We know he's here to stay. It's Nakobe Dean, with this being Nakobe Dean's contract year. Look, bro, I don't know how this, because again, you can put this guy in just to rush the passer, right? So you can fit, I believe you can fit Nakobe Dean, Zach Bond. Well, I don't know. Can you fit all of them on the field at once? Damn, can you? Because if you got Jihaad Campbell in as an edge rusher, right? I think you can. I think you can't fit all of these guys on the field together. Am I tripping? Am I tripping right now? Chat, am I really tripping? You can have all of these guys on the field together. Right? That's a whole different topic right there. How do you how do you like how's that dynamic, right? Because you look at some of these games with Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond, right? Highest graded linebackers in week 8, right? You look at these guys, in games together, 12 tackles, 11 tackles. Nakobe Dean, 9 solo tackles, Zach Baun 6. Zach Baun with a sack. Like, you look at this production from these two, right? It's crazy, right? At one point in the season, 129 tackles in Nakobe Dean with 106. Both of them 3.5, 3 sacks or more with an INT. Like, bro, these dudes were going nuts together until Nakobe Dean got hurt, right? So I can legit see Jihaad Campbell and Zach Baun on the field together, absolutely dominate, right? Uh, but again, I just don't with. Okay, so I'm just really trying to figure out, can you have all three of these guys on the field together? If so, then it makes perfect sense. But if you can't have Zach Baun, Nakobe Dean, and Jihaad Campbell on the field together, I mean, do you run with 3 linebackers? Right? Do you use Nakobe Dean as a middle linebacker, Zach Baun, and like, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's all up to, how they gonna do their fronts and how they're gonna play defense. How the front seven is gonna be aligned, right? But with Jihaad Campbell, I think they'll be able to have all of these guys on the field together, because that's the only way this makes sense. Bro say, L Stream, you're a fake Eagles fan. Leave my team, boy. Bro, what the hell is you on, man? What are you even talking about? I'm gonna just ban your gay ass. Send him to the loser lounge. Ban him. Come on, man. What are you talking about, bro? Uh so that's really something that I'll keep an eye on, is how the Philadelphia Eagles will, utilize these guys together. Um But we can take a look into what Howie has to say about this pick, just to get like some further insight.
We picked Jihaad Campbell. We made a small trade up just to ensure that we could get him. There are a lot of trades in the 20s, and so we just want to make sure that someone didn't jump ahead of us. Excited to have him. Really excited to have him. Wasn't really something we anticipated. Understand some of the.
So if this was if this was something that Howie said, this was something that they did not anticipate. Howie, if you didn't anticipate this happening, that lets me know he couldn't have been trying to trade up for Jihaad Campbell, because he never anticipated on drafting him, or he never anticipated on getting Jihaad Campbell. So if you never anticipated this happening, why would he be trying to trade up to get him if he never anticipated ever getting him? You see what I'm saying? So at the point when he traded up, when he was trying to trade up to 22 or in that range, when he was making those calls, who was Howie really calling for? But I digress. Let's just finish.
Other teams may have reasons for taking other players, but for us, this is a really easy pick. Really explosive player. He can play inside. He can be an edge rusher. Just really feel fortunate to bring him home back to Philly.
Howie, there were reports that you were trying to trade up a little bit earlier. Was that for Jihaad?
It was. Again, this was a top 10 player on our board. We do not have any long.
Okay, so he said that was. So Howie said he was trying to trade up to get him. But how was you trying to trade up to get him if you didn't ever anticipate actually getting him? So that's the only thing where that's not registering right for me. If you didn't anticipate on getting him, like how could you trade up to get someone that you never anticipated on getting? That's the only thing that don't sound right. But okay, let's just finish. Let's just finish.
Term concerns with his health. We have we look at the draft as a long-term opportunity for our team. We have a lot of confidence this guy's going to be here and play at a really high level for a long time. And so when you're in a draft and you're picking at the end of the first round, you have an opportunity to get a top 10 player at your board, a guy who can affect the quarterback, a guy who can affect the passing game. For us, it was a no-brainer. Local kid, great character. So we were really excited to add him.
Nick, I heard Howie say that he has the pass rush ability as well. How do you view him and how he?
We player the different things. Obviously, the main thing is the energy that he plays with, the speed that he plays with, and that when you're playing and relentless effort that he plays with, and that fits on defense.
Far enough in his rehab that he could be ready, do you think, for training camp or opening day?
Yeah, we'll get all into that when we bring him in here. Obviously our guys had an opportunity to see him at the combine and the rechecks. And, we're very excited about what he's going to bring to the team. From our perspective, all that stuff will be sorted out. But again, we're looking at this. This wasn't a need pick. This was, for us, a player we had tremendous passion about. And somebody, when we started the process and continued through the process, was very high on our boards. And
so Howie said this wasn't a need pick. This was a pick to where we had a lot of passion about. It was just somebody that they wanted to get. So like I was saying, bro, early in the stream, when you draft for a specific need on your team, that is when you set yourself up for failure. This is just a guy who, we didn't necessarily need him, but he was a great talent in the top 10 talent, and he's from the area. So this was just one of those picks to where it was a luxury pick. Let's be honest. The Eagles can pick. The Eagles have such great talent all across the board to where they don't have to they don't have to reach for a player that they may not necessarily need. Okay. So that's what I really appreciate about Howie Roseman. Okay. He's not forcing any of these picks, honestly. Right? He's not really forcing it. He's not forcing these picks. He's just going to grab the best player. Right? So, and that's really that's how all teams should approach the draft. Right? You should always go for the best player available.
We got to look at the draft that way. Obviously, there are other players we liked at the spot we were picking, but this stood out to us, and very excited to get him, and we didn't want to lose him.
Howie, how would you describe what you're like when you see a player falling and you're trying to trade for him? How would you describe your mannerisms, your mood?
I don't know.
Maybe asking you better, Nick.
Yeah, I don't know.
You answer.
I mean, persistent, determined. Would that be fair?
Yeah.
They had some injuries at Alabama field. So for us, it's just we always want to improve the front seven, and we view him as a front seven player who's got incredible versatility and a skill set to do both those things.
So they say the same thing about him, right? They pretty much say the same thing about this guy. Okay. He can set the edge, right? He can drop back in coverage. He's athletic. He can rush the passer. This is an unbelievable pick. This is an unbelievable pick. It really is. This pick is absolutely crazy. Now, have the Philadelphia Eagles done anything else right now in this draft? Um, no, they haven't done anything right now. Okay, the Eagles still haven't done anything in this draft. Okay, cool. Um, let me see. Okay, they also, this is like his production. His grade was a 78. His production grade, his athleticism was an 82. Overall draft score 82 out of 100. Okay, bro, 6'2". He's almost 6'3", 235 pounds, 32 arm reach arm length, ran a 4.52 and a 4.52 40-yard dash. Broad jump 10.7. Okay. So now again, look, bro, here's my thing with this pick. What some guys don't seem to understand, people who feel like Jihaad Campbell isn't going to be, you know, a good player, bro. You have to look at the team that he's going to be. You gotta look at the team. You gotta look at the defense that he's going to be, you know, playing on, right? He is playing with great players, bro. We got Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, Jalen Carter, Zach Bond. We have stars on our defense. They're going to make things easier for the rookies because now they're going to fit right in, bro. And they're not going to have to do, they're not going to have to overcompensate, bro. When you're playing with Jalen Carter and these other great players, they make the game easier for you because now you really don't have to do much, right? So much focus is going to be on Jalen Carter. So much focus is going to be on these other guys to where it's going to leave there's going to leave so many opportunities for younger guys to actually contribute and perform. Okay, because if you got Jalen Carter, right, taking on all the blocks, getting double teamed, and now he's in the backfield, and bro, it's creating more space for all of the other players and all of the rest of his team. Okay, uh, when Quinyon and Coop is in coverage and nothing's available, so now the quarterback has to hold on to the ball much longer, right? Giving the pass rushers more time to get to the quarterback. Right, bro, this defense is already so disruptive. Right? That's the best way you could describe the Eagles defense. It's disruptive. Right? So when you're playing on a disruptive defense and you add a Jihaad Campbell, right? I mean, hell, even if you add somebody that wasn't as good as him, they will still be productive, bro. Sometimes you're a product of the pieces around you, right? And that's how football works. Even offensively, right? It's tough to try to stop AJ Brown and Devonta Smith when you have to worry about stopping Saquon Barkley. You see? You understand? It's extremely difficult to do that. Right? It's tough to stop Saquon Barkley. I mean, it's going to be difficult to stop AJ Brown and Devonta Smith with Saquon Barkley on the field, because you can't you only have a certain amount of resources to allocate to stopping certain people and stopping a team. At some point you run out of resources, and you can't stop this and this. So it's like, it's not even pick your poison, it's you're gonna lose. Right? You're gonna lose. Same way on defense, bro. Okay, they make you, the defense makes each other better. Because again, you can't stop Jalen Carter, Zach Bond, and Quinn. You can't stop everybody at once. So you're gonna run out of resources. So that's when other guys come into play, like Jihaad Campbell, Nakobe Dean, Jalen Hunt, Nolan Smith. That's when these guys come in handy, because they are going to be in position to make the plays. So you have to look at what the Philadelphia Eagles already have. You see what I'm saying? You got to look at what the Philadelphia Eagles already have, and they already have talented players to pair with Jihaad Campbell. And that's what makes it so. It's not like he's not going. It's not like he doesn't have the traits. He has all the traits. He has all of the tools to be dominant. Right? He has all of the traits to be dominant. But I mean, bro, it's crazy, because now, listen, hear me out. You are pairing Zach Bond and the Kobe Dean. You're pairing him with Zach Bond and the Kobe Dean, bro. Like it's already with those three guys. It boosts your defense. It gives your defense a boost, right? It gives your defense not now you have depth at the linebacker position. Linebacker, but like even when we talk about the Eagles' history at linebacker, they've never drafted a linebacker in the first round. It was so long ago since they've done it. I think it was like since 1970 something. They've never drafted a linebacker, and this is another reason that makes this pick feels so, you know, this what makes me like the pick that much more. The fact that we've been wanting them to draft a fucking crazy athletic hybrid linebacker for the longest, right? And they finally pulled the trigger on it. And you look at what Zach Bond did, right? Last year, it's like, damn, why not go and get another guy like this? I think that opened Howie eyes to I think Zach Bond showed Howie Roseman just how valuable these linebackers are, right? And I think Howie was like, "Oh, okay, I got it now. I get it." And I think, and again, because okay, when you with Howie, let's start with Howie. Okay, when Howie has these elite players, he now understands you have the blueprint on how to find these guys, or what makes these guys um the like how these guys are hardwired, right? How the mindset of these guys, right? Their work ethic. When you have elite superstars, when you have guys like Darius Slay or AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, or when you Saquon Barkley, with Howie Roseman, when he's able to get these talented players, what he does is he understands that this is the type of guy that I draft, and he's excellent at draft. Even look at Cam Jurgens. Cam Jurgens is Jason Kelsey all over again, right? Howie Roseman see the type of players, the type of great players when he had that experience with these players, he now knows how to find a duplicate of these elite players. Look at Quinyon. He did it with Quinyon and Darius Slay, right? Got Quinyon to replace Darius Slay. Okay. Uh Jalen Carter to replace Fletcher Cox. Right, bro. I think Howie understands once he get these great elite players on his team, just from being around them and understanding how they operate day to day, he goes and he uses that information to go find either a replica or someone that's just as good. Right. Now with the receivers, I think Howie needed a bit of help with finding receivers in my humble opinion. That's why he traded for AJ Brown. But drafting Devonta Smith, I don't know. That was a great move. Again, I think other people kind of helped him grab Devonta, right? But because before Devonta, bro, the Philadelphia Eagles had like no, like we were struggling so bad to find a receiver, bro. Struggling to find receivers. So I think somebody else may have helped with input as far as Devonta Smith move, right? But the AJ Brown trade, I think a lot of that was Jalen Hurts and but I'll give credit for Howie for grabbing these players, but Howie didn't have. I don't know how he just could not find draft receivers, bro. He was horrible at drafting receivers, let's be honest. And I believe that's because he's never, now that he has AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, if we ever need a receiver, Howie Roseman is going to know what type of receiver, because what type of receiver he knows, the elite receivers now Howie knows how to draft receivers. So if he has an opportunity to draft a receiver, that receiver is going to be elite. I think Howie actually knows how to now, because he has those guys in the room where he's around those type of elite receivers, right? So I think that's how that pretty much works with Howie Roseman. Okay, so with Jihaad Campbell, how this relates to Jihaad Campbell, because with Jihaad Campbell, what Howie Roseman did was he looked at Zach Bond and understood, wow, this is the type of linebacker that, right? This is how you draft linebackers. You draft somebody with the intangibles, with the traits, or with the abilities that Zach Bond has. And that's exactly what he did, bro. We looking at a guy with the same ability, this dude can have the same level of production as Zach Bond. Imagine that. See, bro, this is what I really want. This is what I'm trying to get you guys to kind of, understand that they got another Zach. We got another Zach Bond. We got another Zach Bond. The Saints not taking Shador. You said Shador number. Thanks, still. Hey, what's going on with Shador, bro? That's crazy. They did Shador Sanders dirty. I mean, it is what it is. I don't. That They did Jalen Hurts the same way. A lot of quarterbacks fall in the draft. I mean, it is what it is. Uh, a lot of those times it's black quarterbacks, right? But I mean, shit, that sometimes, I don't know, bro. That's just how it just be like there sometimes, bro. Okay. Uh, sometimes you just gotta, that's a little more fuel to your fire, right? A little added emphasis to, So I mean, I think it's fine, right? You just use that to, to become better. But yeah, man, that's ironic. I think the kid should have probably went in the first round. But it's again, I it could be more than that. I think it's some little more to it, right? I think it's just Dion with him being Dion Sanders, and it's like I think it's some teams really don't like a lot of. I mean, but it's a quarterback, so of course there's going to be hype with your quarterback, but I think it's too much of a. I think people feel like these are them boys are distractions, right? So, or I'll just they maybe just don't like whatever the case may be. But he based off of talent alone, I think he should have won the first round. But it is what it is, man. I really don't. Shadir Sanders commented, and he think he's too legendary for this draft. Yeah, I think it. I think he's. I think NFL teams are saying think he's too cocky or whatever the case may be, bro. Why does the fuck should that matter though, man? I mean, like, yeah, what you want him to be humble and come on, bro. If he let them boys, come on, man. These are young boys with all the money in the world, great athletes, bro. Let them feel themselves. Let them have that confidence, bro. You can't try to. You how like I hate the NFL does this a lot, bro, with certain quarterbacks, man. They look at the fact that they always say he's too cocky, he's too arrogant, and bro, people don't like the fact that you're confident in your abilities, right? Because they look at it as an insecurity within themselves because they aren't confident, right? So they project that's when they project their hate on people just based off stuff like, oh, he think he's too cocky. I mean, bro, I don't. That's weird, bro. I feel like that shouldn't be a knock on somebody because they're confident in their abilities. If they weren't confident in themselves, they wouldn't be in the situation that they're in. So like, it's like, bro, I just think it's weird. I think it's like I think there's a lot of I feel like you shouldn't use that against somebody, right? I mean, I think, and then Aaron Rodgers slid in the draft. Someone was saying it was because he was, kind of a little bit too, whatever the case may be, bro. I just feel like, man, you just let okay, personality is a thing, right? The personality traits and right. Some people may just feel like I don't trust him. I think he's gonna be big trouble for our team, or I don't. You're right. I don't know, man, but that's crazy. That kind of stole the draft, right? Honestly, the whole Shador Sanders thing. It's weird, bro. I think it's weird. You think he should have went like first top 10? I don't know. Let's take a look at. I mean, I don't. What's going on right now in the draft? The draft industrial complex. I want to read this because this is like a good read. Honest NFL says the draft industrial complex is such a weird organism that manages to result in players becoming like stocks that aren't fully based on objective evaluation. Damn, bro, that's a sentence right there. He said the draft industrial complex is such a weird organism that manages to result in players becoming like stocks that aren't fully based on objective evaluation. It's especially ridiculous with the quarterback position because these guys tend to end up being evaluated on a curve in the media based on the strength of the class overall. But teams don't evaluate on a curve. in NFL scouting, a grade is a grade, regardless of what it relates to the rest of the quarterback class. That's how you end up making awful decisions. Players should always be advised not to bother reading mocks or evals that will, because it usually ends up in them losing perspective on what actually matters. So I guess maybe this is a tie-in into, like, the whole Shador Sanders thing, right? But again, those are some great points. I like some of his points because he says that the quarterback position, it tends to end up being evaluated on a curve in the media based on the strength of the class overall. So they may say, hey, this isn't a strong quarterback class, right? So we're gonna base, the entire position on how strong the class is. Okay. Instead of focusing on the actual grade of the player, right? So are some people saying that Shador Sanders was not drafted in the first round because the overall draft grade of the class in its entirety? I don't know, man. Cam Ward went #1 overall, right? Jackson Dart went in the first round. So again, I don't know. I just believe personally, I think it was just teams did not like the rah-rah kind of stuff with him. I honestly believe it didn't have anything to do with his on-field production. And I mean, you do got to take into account, right, what really did he accomplish in college? Did he win a championship? Did he go? Bro didn't even go. His record, bro. I just don't. His record looks horrible. Okay, his record looks horrible. I think they kind of holding that against him with Shador. I think he like 14-13 in college. I mean, bro, his record. I mean, but his journey was kind of weird too, right? So I mean, you can't really knock that. I think he's a great kid, honestly. I think he just he just got a lot of haters, bro. It's a lot of people who just do not like him, bro. They just don't like the kid. They kind of think he's like stuck up, arrogant, like those kids who grew up with like with millions or get everything given to him. I think that's the kind of vibe people get from him. Like, and I think that's why it begins to build steam and like people not liking him and stuff like that. So I think this is like a way to like, kind of just like bring him down a notch. That's what I think that was. This is a way to kind of bring him down a notch. But I don't know, man. The Eagles, look, I love this pick. I love this pick. I love what the Philadelphia Eagles are doing. Jihaad Campbell, I'm glad he's here. I think he's gonna be a dog. The Eagles are gonna pick soon, so I'm gonna lock into the draft, and we're just gonna keep an eye on what's going on with this draft, and I'll get up with you guys in the next live stream.